It's January 15th, 1947, Los Angeles, a city where dreams are made and sometimes buried. In the quiet of a winter morning, a young mother walks her daughter through a vacant lot on South Norton Avenue. She almost misses it, thinking it's a mannequin tossed away. But it isn't. What she's looking at is this mutilated body of a woman, pale as porcelain, severed cleanly in two, drained of blood, her mouth sliced open from ear to ear, carved into a ghastly smile. The press would call her the Black Dahlia. The world would never forget her face or what was done to it. And for 70 years, we've all been asking the same question: who killed Elizabeth Short? Before she became a symbol of Hollywood's darkness, Elizabeth Short was just a girl chasing light. Born in 1924 in Boston, Elizabeth was the third of 5 daughters. Her father vanished when she was young, leaving behind an empty house and a broken family. Later, he'd reappear, pretending his suicide was a misunderstanding. But by then, Elizabeth had already learned something about disappointment and about pretending. In her early 20s, she arrived in Los Angeles, not as an actress yet, but as someone hoping to be one. The city was filled with faces like hers, hopeful, hungry, and lost in the golden glow of the post-war dream. She wore black dresses, red lipstick, and always a mysterious smile. Friends said she was quiet, polite, and endlessly charming, but also lonely. She drifted from one boarding house to another, one diner to the next. She dated men, servicemen, small-time actors, rich playboys, yet none ever really knew her, and maybe that was her power. Elizabeth Short was a mystery, long before she became one. But by January 1947, things weren't going well. No steady job, no movie offers. Her friends had stopped hearing from her, and then on January 9th, she vanished. 6 days later, her body appeared. The crime scene was like something from a nightmare, methodical, artistic in its cruelty. Her body had been cut in half at the waist, cleaned with gasoline, and arranged carefully in the dirt. There was no blood anywhere, meaning she was killed elsewhere, then placed there. The press swarmed instantly. They called her the Black Dahlia, a twist on the film The Blue Dahlia, and on her favorite outfit: black dresses, black shoes, black hair framing, pale skin. Within hours, her story became Hollywood's newest scandal. Police had little to go on. There were no witnesses, no fingerprints, and no obvious motive. But what they did have was a media circus. Reporters printed her letters, her love affairs, her habits, turning Elizabeth into a tragic celebrity. The newspapers painted her as a femme fatale, a party girl, even a prostitute. But the truth was far simpler and sadder. Elizabeth Short was just another young woman who trusted the wrong people in the wrong city. And somewhere her killer was watching the headlines, smiling. Days after the murder, the Los Angeles Examiner received an envelope. Inside, her birth certificate, business cards, photographs, and an address book, all wiped clean with gasoline. And on the envelope, neatly typed, "Here's Dahlia's belongings. Letter to follow." It was signed, "The Black Dahlia Avenger." The LAPD launched one of the largest investigations in their history. Hundreds of detectives, thousands of suspects, but every lead ended in fog. The killer had taunted them, not just with the letter, but with precision. Whoever did this wasn't sloppy. They knew anatomy. They knew how to drain blood, how to make a clean bisection through the spine. Police began to suspect a doctor. That theory led to one of the most chilling suspects, Dr. George Hodel, a wealthy, eccentric physician, living in a mansion in Hollywood's Hill, known for his parties filled with artists, writers, and strange rituals. Decades later, his own son, former LAPD detective Steve Hodel, would publicly accuse him of being the Black Dahlia killer. His reason: taped conversations where George Hodel could be heard saying, "Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia, they can't prove it now." But in 1947, no charges were ever filed. Other suspects came and went, Lovers, soldiers, strangers seen near the scene, none fit perfectly. Some confessed, others lied for attention. One man even walked into a police station saying he'd killed Elizabeth, only to be cleared hours later. The city became obsessed. Hollywood was no longer just the city of dreams. It was now the city of death. Months passed, then years. Elizabeth Short's murder faded into the archives, a cold case that haunted detectives until their dying days. But the story refused to die. Filmmakers, authors, and conspiracy theorists all tried to solve it. Some said it was a crime of passion. Others said it was ritualistic, or the work of a secret Hollywood cult. Every theory seemed possible, because the truth was buried beneath layers of fame, myth, and fear. Elizabeth Short never became a movie star, but she became something darker, a symbol of innocence destroyed, of a city that feeds on beauty and spits out bones. Her case remains one of the most infamous unsolved murders in American history. And maybe that's why we still talk about her, not because of how she died, but because of what her death revealed about us. If you walk down South Norton Avenue today, there's nothing to see, just quiet houses, trimmed lawns, a street like any other. But under the surface, under the silence, lies the memory of a girl who came to Los Angeles chasing light and found only shadow. Elizabeth Short wanted to be seen, and now, decades later, she's seen by millions, frozen forever, as the Black Dahlia. Maybe her killer escaped justice. Maybe we'll never know his name. But in a way, the story still bleeds, because every dream that dies in Hollywood has a little bit of the Black Dahlia in it.